theme song for the Gear Podcast. Joining me today, ladies and gentlemen, my host, the wonderful, the only, the one and only Leon Todd. Leon, how are you, mate?
Mate, fantastic. It's great to be here with you, Troy, the mammalian Australian, the Flexin Texan, the Raging Cajun himself. How's your week been, brother?
Not too bad. I like those nicknames, mate. You got to put a little Indo thing in there as well, just to really, like drive it home. But no, things are busy, mate. School starts back next week, like as in my children going to school. I'm not going to school. Well, I'm teaching at a school, but I suppose that's different. So yeah, mate, I'm just getting through it, just making some YouTube content. Go follow the YouTube channel at Hammerspace Recording. Every time we do a video, I get more subscribers. So please, I've got young children to feed.
I've just been in the studio all week, mate, smashing out videos and all the normal things that I do. I had a lot of fun actually doing a demo track for that new Ibanez Alpha that I put a video out for, because it's something I realized. We're just straight in. This is the first thing we'll talk about, mate. The Scorchers won the cricket. That's important.
Mm-hmm.
Perth, Ascendant, untouchable. Yep. Loved that. Mm-hmm. Absolutely loved that. But yeah, I realized something about multi-scale 7s and 8s, right? If you don't think of them as a guitar, it's a fun experience, right? Because you've done this a lot. You've done a lot of bass gigs in your life. Mm-hmm. Different part of the brain, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
So it's not a bass. It's not a guitar. It's its own thing. And when you get into that headspace, then it's really fun to play. I think in the past, when I've played 7s and 8s, I've really tried to think of them as a guitar. But just being like, no, it's a little bit more like a bass, but it's still not a bass, so that's okay. It's very much its own category of thing. So that was my big revelation for the week. Yeah, batar. Surely that's been used before, right? Surely someone's used that saying for it. But we spoke about...
patents it.
Quick. Yeah, we've done it before we release this. So no one else can get onto it. But I thought it would be cool to continue our coverage of all the new gear that's come out with the NAMM show. This is the Gear Podcast, after all. And a big thank you to all our regular and new listeners on the Gear Podcast. We love you guys, everyone who leaves a comment and takes the time to listen. Whatever you're doing, maybe you're driving around in your car. Maybe you're laying horizontally on your bed with some headphones on. Maybe you're pumping out some big sets in the gym, in which case, mate, you got it. Give me 2 more. 3 more. Yeah, there we go. Get the pump. We'll just keep talking about the NAMM show, because there was a bunch of stuff we didn't get to last time because either A, we forgot about it, or B, it hadn't been announced or seen. So the one that we should have talked about last week that we just forgot, we're sorry, is the Fryette Ultra Lead 2, which looks...
DOS.
Sorry. Is it the Pitbull Ultra Lead 2? I believe that's what it's called.
Is it? Yeah. Yeah. Very cool. Big Steve-O. New product.
Yeah, it's exciting. Very, very exciting.
You heard, like, when all the guys from back then, they always call him Stevie Fryette. Like, I could never call him that if I met him, but I'd probably try and call him Steve-O. Oi, Steve-O.
Yeah. Steve-O sounds like a guy who doesn't build amps like this, Yeah. Like, when you look at that, that can't be achieved by a Steve-O.
That's a Steven. Steven made that amp.
Mm-hmm. And that amp would insist that you call it Suhr. It looks pretty wild, man. For a one, the fact that it's a 2-space rack unit and not a traditional head, that was very surprising. It kind of looks like when the Axe FX2 came out, if in 2011 when the Axe FX2 came out, you imagined what an Axe FX3 would look like, you might have imagined this.
Yep. I'm not fully up on the features of this thing because I've looked at it. I've looked at the rear of it, which I always like to look at the backside of things.
Oh yeah.
I think it's pretty forward thinking, and I mean, kind of a surprise because like I do watch the Fryette stuff when it comes out, when they do videos and the podcast and that sort of stuff, and sometimes they allude to something that might be in the works, and I feel like this one almost came out of nowhere, but. Yeah, I mean, it's like I've got a Pitbull Ultra Lead, like a 90s one, and that's wicked.
Great amp.
I'm not 100% certain how the screen works in this new one. So did it say it on the documentation there, or because like I feel like I've heard mixed things about it. So as in, maybe that controls like the post, like the graphic EQ that was in the Ultraleads, like that had the EQ in it. Maybe it does that. I'm assuming it does impulse response loading as well, because I think it's got that built into it. Do you know what it exactly?
Yeah,
what the touch,
so a
it's
few
touchscreen
things
touch.
off the top of my head. So there's obviously impulse responses. I believe the graphic EQ is now a digital graphic EQ that you can insert in there, so you can save presets for it. There's a lot of fun stuff like that. So also power tube blending, which is pretty interesting. It's also got a 120 watt power amp, 3 channels. It's got the rack unit form factor. Looks like there's a DI output on there, obviously for the IR loading, which is pretty wild. But man, there's a lot, and there's also a lot of knobs on there too, right? So it feels 90% rack mount amp, but that last 10% of all the extra goodies are super fun. So yeah, I think part of the ad copy was that they were, you know, kind of saying that it's like, yeah, you can still push tube amps, right? You can still be innovative in this space, rather than just be like, well, it has to be, you know, it has to be made with in a particular way, and it can't have these other features. So yeah, very, very interested to see what it will actually sound like, right?
I mean, like this sort of thing, like my obsession or like interest in racks 20 something years ago is that it made so much sense to me that you grab one thing and you take that to your gig, and that does everything. So that would be like your amp with all your effects in it and blah, 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 all the patching and stuff. Which, as much as I love heads, you kind of have to take a head and you've got to take your effects in other methods. And I guess maybe that's a 4-cable method style pedal board sort of a thing. Maybe that's all it is. But like, you know, you never see a head that's going to look good balancing on a 4-space rack, or vice versa. Like a head's not deep enough to make that work. So it always looks a bit jank. So yeah, like rack mounted heads, it just kind of feels like it makes sense. The only thing, it's not a hesitation, but I'd be curious to see, well, I'm not sure if you noticed it there. Does it have a fan in it?
Now that's a good question, Troy. I would imagine it must, right?
Yeah, the 292 that I've got in my rack at the moment, like it's a stereo, like 90 watt power amp, so it gets pretty warm. It gets warm in that it needs a fan in it. It needs some sort of cooling, because obviously in a more enclosure, like a two space rack, like you're going to need some sort of like heat control. Like if the VHT Pitbull head that I have is quite big, normal
chunky
size,
boy.
but yeah, you don't need anything to cool it in that sort of enclosure. So yeah, I'd be curious to see what that part of it's like. It's that trade-off thing where, like, I don't love units that have fans in them because it can get a bit annoying. Does the XFX have a fan in it? I can't remember.
It does, yeah. It's pretty.
Do you ever hear it?
No. If
you load it up, if 100% doesn't like kind of start to whiz around a bit.
Yeah, I noticed the fan on the FM3 and the FM9 a bit more because they're on the floor.
Right.
And but yeah, it's pretty quiet. It's not, you know, the Synergy power amp that I have here has a much louder fan than the Axe, right? So yeah, I'm not super. I don't mind super. I'm just trying to find the manual for this thing to see if they have put it up online just yet, which would be interesting.
The thing is, at the same time, like actually, does it? Oh no, the power station I think it's got a fan in it too. I was going to say, that doesn't have a fan, but I think it does in the rear. It's a bit more noticeable, the one in the.
Bro, got to go water cooling.
So, yeah, that'll be the next. Imagine a water cooled amp. No one would be brave enough to do that, would they?
Why? Like, but think about it. If you're willing to put water cooling in a computer, right?
Yeah, but you don't have to like throw a computer in the back of a van to drive around. That's the difference, is the movability of it. But
how many people how many people who are buying stuff like this are really taking it to gigs? They're putting it in their amp racks in their studios and hooking them up to amp switches, right?
Imagine a fully water-cooled rack. You know what, Michael Torin, you should water-cool your amp rack. Just do it.
Just do it, mate. Like, what could possibly go wrong?
So anyway, that's very cool. I'm really interested to hear some more clips of that when it comes out, because I did that video a couple of weeks ago comparing the Synergy Pitbull or Synergy Ultra Lead module to my my Pitbull amp, and they're so much fun to play. Like for me, I love that sound and I love the way it feels. So yeah, I don't know what the price point is going to be like for this, but I hope it brings more people because of its form factor. Like it's pretty versatile. I hope it brings people to that sound because it's really, really fun. And man,
Yeah,
I think I said this
I
to
think
you,
about
like,
what 4K US, which is fairly comparable
that-
to just boutique heads in general.
Yeah.
But you're obviously getting a bunch of new features. Cool.
imagine you've just got your rack of amps and it's your Pitbull, your Soldano, like SLO rack mounted head, your Mark series head. It's like, what a time to be alive. It's 2026 and you can get all those new from like for great expense, but you could theoretically just go buy them and have a fat time. So
have all the rack mounted amps.
So that's cool. But anyway, excited about that. What else have you got on the list there, Uncle Leon?
Well, Friedman announced the PX20, so a mini Phil X head, which is cool. But the thing I'm pumped about that they're doing is finally Dave's take on a Vox, the VX30. And I know he's been dropping mentions of this for a while. And the last time I was in the States with the legends, the two Michaels, Michael and Michael, Torin and Nielsen, we went and hung out with
Stereo
Dave.
mics.
Stereo mic. Oh my God. There you go. Mate. See, this is why they pay you the big bucks, Troy.
The old stereo, the old XY pair.
Exactly.
XY pair? AB pair, perhaps? Not a Blumline. I don't think they're figure eight polar patterns, but anyway, go on.
As you do. Anyway, Dave was saying he's got this amazing vintage AC30 that I think had previously belonged to Tim Pierce. So I'm assuming he's cracked the code on what makes that particular Vox so good and put it into this head. So yeah, the fact that one, Friedman does great stuff. Two, it'll be his take on a Vox, which I'm sure will be awesome. But three, as a head, like, you know, the easiest way to get an AC30 style thing at the moment is you buy the combo. But I think, again, put this in your rack of amps along with your other Friedmans and Soldanos and Boogies. But yeah, that one looks super cool. The thing I know loads of people were turned on to because of one video that Dweezil did are the shark guitars. And I'd been getting there.
Can we just finish on the Friedman stuff before? Because the Phil X amp's kind of interesting too. I was a little surprised when that came out because I think the Phil X, like the 100-watt head, is like it's almost like a scaled down BE, I think.
Yes.
Like it's similar sort of thing, but it's got less features and less gain and stuff. Whereas it feels like the 20-watt is kind of like a scaled up 20-watt Friedman head, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Because I think they said it's the only 20-watt amp that's got like 2.5 or 3 channels, whatever you want to call it. So it looks pretty interesting. And yeah, I mean, that's the sort of amp that's up my alley for the gigs that I do. I did like as well. Did you look at the specs on it? Because there's something on that which it makes so much sense. It's like the boost channel on it. It works like the boost in the IRX or the JL.
Great.
The IRJL or whatever that one that is too. So you hit the boost. It's got like drive in front of the amp, and then it's also got like a post output gain. So you know you can use it as a solo boost, but you can also drive the amp harder. It's like that makes so much sense. Like
more volume and more gain.
Exactly. If you want it, but adjustable, so it's not fixed. So that's like that's a clever little amp. So I mean, I don't think it's got some of the more fancy digital stuff in it, but for a just show up and plug your guitar and rig, I think it's pretty cool. So yeah, pretty interested to hear some clips of that when it comes out. And obviously, I think I listened to Michael Nielsen, his live stream a couple of weeks ago or a week ago. He said that Vox sounds unbelievable. So yeah, interesting to hear what that's going to sound like.
Yeah, that guy guy knows tone as well. So I'll take his word for it. I'm pretty pumped about that.
Yeah, but you were going to talk about the shark guitars.
Yeah, so I'd been seeing their promo material on YouTube just popping up in the sidebar and watched a bunch of things. So I'd mostly just seen the trem, thinking it was mostly just going to be a new vibrato bar system. But yeah, Dweezil did a video from NAMM that has lots of people have seen, and he sort of goes through a lot of the specs. So go and watch Dweezil's video because it's pretty awesome. But man, some of the stuff on these is wild. It kind of looks like this evolved version of, I guess, like a Carla Floyd Rose hybrid thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's
hard to put into words, right?
Have you got a? Can you drag a picture of it in of the thing?
I will. Yeah. I'll do that.
I think in the Dweezil video, that's the first thing they talk about. So I guess it's like, I mean, it's a very stable tremolo, and you can bend a string, and it doesn't put the rest of the tremolo out. So that's really cool. It also looks like I'm assuming they're not offering that as a third party sort of, or like you can install that system into another guitar. It seems like it's all built into the guitar as its thing.
The trem system.
But
I think you can buy the bridges. Yeah.
Oh, you can?
Yep.
Because I mean, it's not. Some of the features on it remind me a little bit of an Evertune. I mean, it's a different sort of a thing because it doesn't have the same sort of, balancing the tensions with all of however that sort of stuff works. But just with the like way you could lock it down really easily, and the tuning stability is really good. And you can take the whole neck off the guitar, which is something we'll talk about as well. It kind of seems like that, but yeah, it looks not as obnoxious of a device. So yeah, interested to see if that makes its way to other guitars as well as their own.
Yeah, so you can buy the bridge. Yeah, it starts at $780. So
yeah,
not for cheap. The faint of heart, but it looks like a really nice piece of engineering.
I think they said in the video that it's like they've got quite a big team working on I think they do everything in house.
Yeah, that's cool.
Which is pretty cool. So that's just what you that's what you get, I guess.
So they offer full guitars, but they have you can buy the nut and the bridge, and the way the nut unlocks is really cool, right?
Yeah.
And man, yeah, it looks like a very cool system, but yeah, again, all in house.
I think the way that okay, well, I guess we'll talk about it in a second, but a lot of thought has gone in. As I was watching the video, I'm like, this looks simple to do. Like, even though it's a complicated thing and there's a lot of features, like the fact that you can quite easily like take these things apart. I think he says something about like a child can do this. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's interesting. Because like if you've got to just remember the process, and if stuff gets jammed in there, it's like it makes you not want to use the features. So
exactly. It's great to have features, but they have to be usable. And yeah, the idea that you can just swap the necks really quickly.
So yeah, it looks like there's where the nut is. That's another. We'll talk about that in a second. But like you can basically unclip all 6 strings at once and like fold them down, and then just there's like a simple release, so you can just like click the neck off and chuck a different neck on there if you wanted, which is pretty cool. The other thing too, though, which I thought was interesting, is the way that the nut looked like it had individual saddles on it, which were all adjustable. Like I don't think I've seen that on a guitar before, but it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, rather than cutting a piece of bone.
And doing like the even the like the Buzz Fightin' sort of thing where it's all sort of compensated. Like if it's why have we not had that option before? That's kind of interesting. Or maybe because it costs a lot of money. I don't know, but
probably. But there's the modular pickups that they're doing. There's the effects cards that you can put in and out of the guitar. I mean, I will just say the built-in effects thing that feels more like a proof of concept thing. Like, hey, look at how much cool stuff we can do, right?
Yep.
Where you can swap these in and out. And I mean, there's a company in Australia called Vanda Guitars that make you can get a plate for it replaces the jack on your Strat. It's a little plate, but you can clip in individual modules. So yeah, this isn't a purely new concept, but it is cool to see. And the modules are pretty cheap. They're like less than $50, right? And yeah, like lots of unique and novel approaches to doing cool stuff on the guitar. Because putting onboard electronics on the guitar isn't a new thing, but this is done quite elegantly. I think the way it clips in, the way it looks, that's the part of it to me where I'm like, I can understand that there'll probably be high demand for the bridge and the locking nut, and the other stuff, maybe not so much. And I will just say as well. Oh no, sorry, Matt, you go. No,
you go. No, you finished, mate. Just go.
I was just going to say, they're standalone guitars. the look is definitely an acquired taste. It has that thing that I think of like in the, like, do you remember the Les Paul Recording or the Les Paul Artist,
Oh, yeah,
where they
yeah.
had, or the Gibson R&D, those sort of things where, yeah, I guess it's very loosely, it's a twin cutaway design, but yeah, they've done their own thing. So I think the full guitars are definitely an acquired taste with the way they look. I know there'd just be so many people who would be like, can I just have the bridge and nut on a Strat? Is that okay?
Yep.
Which is fair enough. Like, good on them for actually just going all out and doing, rather than saying, hey, we have a trem system that you can retrofit to things, being like, no, here's the guitar, here's the full thing. And if you want, you can buy the individual components. I think that's probably a good strategic move on their part. They have a 3D guitar designer on their website as well, which I encourage people to go and look at and learn more. But yeah, the whole thing, for the amount of modularity there is, it looks like a complete thing. That's the upside. A lot of modular guitars sometimes just look like bits of crap chunked together. So it's pretty sleek the way they've got all these different components that you can easily swap in and out. Now I interrupted you. So what were you going to say?
No, all I was going to say was like, yeah, kind of piggybacking onto what you said, and it being almost like a proof of concept. Like, I could imagine there being, if that's the deluxe thing they did, and it was like, I don't know what that costs for that guitar. I'm assuming if the bridge alone is like $700, then the whole guitar is going to be quite pricey. But I mean, I could look at that guitar. They've kind of redesigned every element of the guitar to do that guitar. So if you could take pieces of it and like two ideas and put it into like a normal guitar, maybe that's something that they'll look at. Maybe they'll do that. They'll do like a production model where it's just the cool bridge and the cool neck, because that to me would be the most important part of that.
Absolutely.
Swapping the pickups in and out is something I'm like, oh, it's cool, but if doing that costs so much money, maybe it's not something I would want to investigate. Though I did like the way that the pickups mounted and worked with electronics. Like, it was quite clever. And same as having like inbuilt effects and stuff. It's like it's cool, but do I want a guitar with that? I don't know. So
yeah. So some of the fancier ones get up to the 5 and 6K US, but there's a few models that are sub 3K. So it looks like around the 3K mark for the standard version without the built-in electronics and things like that. And then once you start putting the built-in electronics, you're getting up to 3.5, things like that. So yeah, look, I can see why everyone's talking about this. It's a pretty interesting. It's not every day you get something like this released that feels finished, So, and they call their modular system the ocean environment. So everything's interchangeable, and yeah, it looks like there's some stuff which I can see other manufacturers wanting to build onto their instruments as OEM parts. So yeah, pretty cool. Good on them. Good on them. The other thing that was out of the blue and unexpected, and not a lot of information on it, to be fair, but the website's really impressive and it looks pretty cool, is I believe this is the pronunciation, XRECER, XR1. So it's another touchscreen modeler. I made the comment that if the Quad Cortex is the MacBook of guitar modeling devices in terms of industrial design, this XR1, it's kind of like one of those Razer gaming laptops that you get with like the cool lights and stuff like that. So yeah, it's maybe a little more, I don't even know what you would call it, but yeah, the long and the short of it, big 10-inch HD touchscreen on it. There's, what did you say? The octo-core CPU. So it looks like pretty beefed up. And
yeah, I did like seeing octo-core in the release material there.
Yeah, Doc octo-core. A lot of I/O. There's a whole enchilada in there, Troy.
I saw it come up a few times and I sort of glanced over it a little bit because it, as you said, you can see the influence from the Quad Cortex and some of those other devices. And there's a lot of things that do that now.
Yeah.
And I'm a bit like, I don't know if this is good or bad. Sometimes the newer companies, maybe it's like to use your analogy of like MacBooks and Razers and stuff. It's like when you got those, I'm more inclined to look at that as a brand rather than like some smaller competitors. Which, and I think it's like, I'm sure it's good and I'm sure it's great, but like I keep saying about new products when they come out, I think I've been really happy with the last like 10 years of digital guitar modeling. So there hasn't been a product that's come out that I've gone like, oh my God, finally it's arrived. You know, like the sound is the exact thing that I've been looking for. I mean, sometimes it's an improvement and it might be more comfortable to play. There's been a few experiences I've had like that, but it's not like a throw out your old tube amps thing. Like we finally cracked it, everybody. So maybe other people have had a different experience to me. So like, I don't get super excited about that sort of thing these days.
I mean, the one thing that could set it apart is the price, right? If this is considerably cheaper than a quad Cortex, which looking at the specs, it probably won't be. I can't see any information about it. Yeah. So and clearly the website, all the ad copy has been written by an LLM, right? You know, when you look at just the way, just the grammar is like, you know, GPT grammar on there. So, you know, so are lots of other things. So who are we to criticize that? But yeah, it looks cool. Clearly the hardware exists and can make sounds. So it's not totally vaporware. The other thing that's interesting is PolyEFX. So I have their new collab with Josh Smith, the Canso, but they have a big sort of all-in-one massive touchscreen modeler coming called Hugo, which from the looks of it is going to run like lots and lots of things that guitar modelers don't run. Like it will also be a DAW and a synth and a bunch of other stuff. So, but yeah, this is cool. Like this, they manufacture all of this in-house in Melbourne, and this knob is multi-function and also an encoder, and it looks like Hugo has a lot of those things. So yeah, it's cool to see. They do some great stuff. I'm a big fan of what Lockie at Poly is doing. So yeah, the XRECER thing, unknown. Poly, a bit more known.
Just quickly, I was watching some stuff on Facebook and I had this video come up from Leon Todd today, stacking 4 HM2s in the XFX. So I watched this video, but the thing I just couldn't take my eyes off, which I haven't seen for a little while, is Uncle Leon wearing a singlet.
Hey, it's back for 2026.
2 tickets to the gun show, ladies and gentlemen, just showing them off. Just look at me. I'm Leon Todd, everybody.
I definitely took a break from the singlet. Yeah. But then I thought, where are all my singlets? I threw them all out because they were old and crusty. I'm going to buy some more. So yeah, 2026, we're back.
Nothing's going to beat the 2013 level of singlets that we used to get and wear the gigs. Like, I've still got them somewhere. I used to wear them a lot, but they don't fit anymore, unfortunately. But
you know, we were just living the dream. Yeah, exactly.
Living it up.
While we're talking about machine learning, and rather than the machine guns, PolyEnd, who are more known for their synthesizers, released a very interesting pedal called Endless, where basically you use, I saw it described as a chat GPT pedal. So you can create your own algorithms on it, but you can prompt them with, you know, you just write in, hey, write me a stereo delay with a triangle wave modulation, and it will generate those. So it's just kind of a blank slate pedal. If you can write your own effects code, you can write it and upload it to the pedal, or you can use the prompts to update the code and load it in. The one catch being that you need to buy tokens for it to run the AI, right? But it looks like to me, the thing, obviously, if you're like a bit savvy with code, or if you were a software developer and you wanted to just test things on hardware, buy a bunch of these and test them on it. It feels like that will maybe help bridge the gap for some people. There's also lots of guitar playing enthusiasts who are software engineers who would go, oh, that's kind of fun. I'll get one and, come up with my own effects on there. So, I'm sure we're going to see a lot more of this kind of thing, right? But yeah, I'm sure there's a bunch of like pre-ordered stuff, but it looks quite fun and playful. I think that was the takeaway I got from it, where it's like, we're now entering an era where you don't have to know how to use electronics or code or do DSP. You can just be like, oh, I've got an idea for an effect. I'll type it in to the magic box and have it create it.
Yeah. I actually thought poly, that was the same as the other poly thing that you just
Yeah.
showed. So
Yeah,
that's
so this is
until you just
PolyEnd.
said that, then yeah, that's my bad. So that's interesting. I thought that was the same company.
Yeah, man, it's wild. What a time to be
Yeah,
alive.
oh mate, exactly. Yeah. No, but, looked at, you sent that to me a couple of days ago to have a look at, and I was like, yeah, this is interesting. I don't know how deep I want to research that at the moment. It's like it's like one of those ones where I go like, okay, this is going to be another thing that if I start like trying to learn or understand, I might lose a week. There's plenty of those things already. So yeah, hopefully one of us to get our hands on it to try out at some point.
And just burn through a fortune in tokens, right? Like,
yeah,
that's the one thing that feels a bit dangerous about that, where it's like, yeah, you could really get in a role where you're like, oh, I paid, $300 for the pedal, but I spent a few $1,000s on tokens making stupid fuzz sounds that
yep.
at the end of the, that all at the end of the day maybe ended up sounding really similar because I'm the one prompting it. So cool platform. Again, another like out of the box idea for guitar players. Very interesting thing that I thought is the Casio. When's the last time Casio have been talked about with guitar?
It's been a while.
But,
well, when you make watches and you make synthesizers, it's not really much of a guitar thing. Actually, I can't think of anything that's a Casio guitar product.
Yeah, neither can I.
So,
did they make like a synth guitar back in the day? Maybe.
They did. I think they did.
Yeah. Anyway, they've made something called the Dimension Shifter, which is basically a wireless expression pedal that you mount on your guitar strap. So as you wiggle the strap, it does expression stuff.
That's pretty cool.
Do we need this? Probably not. Do we want this? I reckon it'd be sick. Remember the hot hand thing?
Yeah, I was about to say, it's like that. It's like there's, I think it's hard to crack new ideas into guitar like that because we all just have our ways of working. But there will be I mean, outside of it being like an interesting, like gimmicky sort of thing, there will be a bunch of people that will just enjoy like having a mess around with it, and I'm sure we'll use it to make some interesting music. So who knows, even it might be like oh really, like is that what you want to do? We think of that now, and then in like 20 years time, oh man, have you got that that Casio Dimension Shifter? Oh, they're like $800 because like Leon Todd has used it for his last tour, et cetera, et cetera. So
yeah, Johnny Jangus, the guy who records guitar through an iPhone 4, uses one, and how sick is that? And like he talks about Futurama on it. Remember that? Nah, because we're like, 20 or, exactly. The thing, man, the one thing, just a very quick detour. This is like the descent into madness. Looking at all this stuff, when I see products get announced, I'm like, oh, cool, new thing. I don't know, like, how much ad copy can you read in 1 week and not roll your eyes so much? Like, everything is a new dimension of expression or creativity. And, is it just because people aren't writing these things anymore? So they're just using the same prompts in their little LLM programs and, doing all of that. That's the one thing that I'm just having this thing where it's like, yeah, every generation has their cliches where we make fun of blues lawyers for their tone wood and their haunting mids, but now it's all about expression and control and versatility. It's like, bro, it's an expression pedal. Most people are going to use it to control a wah.
Yeah, I do. Haunting mids. Sorry, that just made me laugh. I forgot about that as a term. I mean, it's funny. It's like maybe it's a greater discussion, but if I'm not saying they are, but if all these are written by, prompts and stuff, like I find I just glance, I so quickly burn through reading these things because I'm almost like I don't show respect to the copy anymore. So I just kind of like look at a picture and try and, if there's something that jumps out at me, I'll investigate it further. But yeah, man, some of it is just the language is a little bit too fluffy for me to enjoy. So,
but man, I also love that the company that makes an AI robot, digital pianos, and calculators now makes this. Because I was a Casio calculator kid, right?
Were they the graphics calculators?
You had the two big ones you could get were Casio and HP. when we were in high school.
Yeah, it would have been Casio that I had. It was
But
expensive too.
Yeah, man. I just had a Casio Scientific. Like, man, the graphics calculator year 11 and year 12 Australia scam where they're like, you got to get a graphics calculator. And then you get to university and they go, all right, you're not allowed to use graphics calculators. Just here's a bunch of sick ways to use a scientific calculator that you never thought of because you have computers now, you morons. Like, go to the computer lab. I always felt I felt bad for my parents buying me a graphics calculator, but it was a sick thing to have.
You know what was like really weird about those two is I remember they had a 2.5 jack on them, not a 3.5 mini jack, but a smaller one. So if you wanted to get anything sick on there, like you never had the cable.
That's right.
Some kid in my school at least had Snake or something programmed on there so they could play games.
And like getting it off people if someone had the cable. Yeah, I had the HP 38G. Oh, man, I'm looking at it now. People want excessive amounts of money for these. Well, yeah, I can't look at this because it will just make me spiral into oblivion. But nevertheless.
I wonder where my calculator... I reckon it's somewhere. I wouldn't have thrown it out. I have no idea where it could be, though.
It's probably with my Nintendo or something.
Yeah, mate. Anyway, what else is on the list there, mate?
Mate, so we're burning through. Seymour Duncan have bit the bullet and come out with a Fishman style multi-voice active pickup. It's interesting for Seymour Duncan because they're very much considered, I think, for a lot of people, the gold standard for passive pickups. But everyone forgets about Blackouts, their version of an EMG. And I think it's because the Blackouts came out on the tail end of the, late 90s, early 2000s active pickup boom. And it feels like, when Fishman came out with Fluencers, everyone just absolutely glazed them. Now I read if I put up when I did the Ibanez Alpha, half the videos were like, sounds great. And people like hate Fishman's, rubbish, this kind of thing, which I don't think so. They just have a sound, and you like the sound or you don't, but it's something different. So yeah, it seems like as Fishman stock is going down now, Duncan are like, hey, we do the multi-voice active thing as well. So, yeah, it's a totally understandable choice to want some of that market share, but also, I just don't think of Seymour Duncan when I think of actives, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's I'm like not in any way qualified to talk about that sort of stuff in terms of like what's a good business decision or not. It feels like if you're really good at doing one thing, maybe you just continue to do the one thing. But I don't know, maybe they'll sell a shitload of these and they'll be in every single like Ibanez guitar in the next, or Charvel guitar or something like that. Maybe it'll be like the official pickup of that. So I don't know. It didn't. I mean, there was something I read about it. Like it's kind of they've got voicings in there for like classic Seymour Duncan pickups. So that's kind of interesting. Like if you can make it sound like a JB or something, I don't mind that idea. I don't really love the way they look personally, but that's probably also how I feel about most active pickups. Just not super into the way they look. But the Fluencers look kind of cool. I don't have a guitar that's got them in there, but yeah, I mean, I'm it's not like for me this pickup. So if I'm going to buy a Seymour Duncan, I'll just go buy a JB. That's kind of how I'm sure it will be for the rest of the time.
Suhr announced a bunch of new guitars, and shout out to my buddy James Vanier as well, who has a new Suhr Modern signature model. I had played his previous Suhr Modern, and it's amazing, as you would expect. But yeah, he's got two more. So good to see a Sydney boy do well. And there's new Andy Wood, Ian Thornley, all monster players. The one I don't think anyone expected was a Benji Madden Suhr.
Oh, say no more. Take my money, please.
I mean, would you, Troy? It's down to two. It's down to an Ed Sheeran PRS or a Benji Madden Suhr. What are you reaching for in the rack?
Let me tell you something, Leon. In all seriousness, I had a Benji Madden Ernie Ball Music Man guitar here for about 12 months.
How was it?
And it was fine. It was good.
Yeah.
It was a single pickup. It was actually quite a fun guitar to play. I would probably pick that over an Ed Sheeran personally. But
there you go. I mean,
they
look, so would I,
fine.
because it's a Suhr.
Yeah, it looks good too. I mean, I don't know what sort of like who that's aimed at. Although I guess like a lot of good Charlotte fans now, probably in their like late 30s and 40s, and got bucks to pay for an more expensive guitar. Because this isn't like it. It's not cheap, is it? Like it's not
it's a
budget Suhr.
Yeah, it's going to be
still going to be like
money. But I think they look good too. Yeah, like it's a Telecaster with P9 ears, which is a cool thing. But yeah, I mean, it took Benji Madden to make Suhr do that. So make of that what you will. The other one that I thought was cool, there's like what is it? The Tim Stewart one, the all black. There's like an offset kind of thing and a telly.
Didn't say that.
But the one that we all know, like the one that I think most people who enjoy what we enjoy, is they've put out a limited edition Classic S Studio, and it's just a Lukather Valley Arts. Like it is, it's Suhr doing Valley Arts cosplay, and I'm all for it, Troy. I think they look fantastic. The big surprise was that there's HSS EMGs in there, right? Floyd. I don't know if it's a Floyd, like an official Floyd or a Gatto Floyd. If it's a Gatto Floyd, that's sick because that's the best one.
Yeah, I think that's what they use, isn't it?
Yeah. And yeah, EMG, HSS, there's the Valley Arts classic Sunburst look. I just thought that was a very interesting development for them. It's like the 80s is so back, and I don't think it's going anywhere. So yeah, all their stuff always looks amazing. And they do the...
in POG form.
Yes. You know, anytime I play through the POG pedal, like the Electro Harmonix POG 2, I think of Milhouse saying that.
You think of Alf.
Just Alf's face. Yeah, that's...
Mate, get a load of how white my arm is, by the way. Look at that. Look at that. What sort of Australian am I? Look at that color contrast. Not great.
You know what you are,
Sorry,
Troy? You're responsible.
I am. Got some new sunscreen yesterday, actually.
There you
Pump
go.
bottle. Just press it down. You don't have to take a cap off or anything like that. Good sunscreen. Anyway, were you going to wrap it up, mate?
Mate, we should slip, slap, slop, fire roll, backflip, rap. What is it now? Because it was slip, slop, slap when we were kids.
Yeah, I think, is it changed?
Mate.
I'll ask my son.
Get a load of this. Slip, slop, slap, seek, and slide. Slip, slop, slap, seek, and slide. That's so hard to say.
Seek shelter, I'm assuming?
Seek shelter and slide on some sunnies.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right. Fair enough.
Slip slop, on a slap, shirt. Rap was better. Yep. Slop on some sunscreen. Slap
and
on a hat.
Slap on a hat, yeah.
Yep. Seek shade and slide on some sunnies. So there you go. Just stay indoors, basically, is what it's saying. Especially in the summer here. Yeah.
But also get tinting on your windows, protect yourself from UV lights, UV radiation.
What they really should be encouraging children to do is to excavate their parents' backyard, get a shipping container, right? Install it in a giant hole and then concrete around it and have a small entrance that you can get into and just live in there, mate. Yeah, then the sun can't get you. Doesn't that sound perfect?
It actually sounds really good. Don't your folks have a small sarcophagus in their backyard?
Yeah, basically, yeah. Basically. It's just a little stimmy retreat.
Yep. Awesome, mate. Well, that was a fun little episode. What do you reckon? Happy with that?
So what's the NAMM rig, Troy? As we finish, is it the Ed Sheeran baritone into a triple rec, or is it the Benji Madden? Is it the Benji Madden Suhr into the Phil X amp?
I think it's Benji Madden into Phil X. I'd probably have a really good time playing that rig.
You know what else you'd have a good time? Hanging out with those two guys. I reckon that would be fun. Like imagine
I met Phil X I met him at NAMM a couple of years ago. The one time I went, I was just like, standing in a circle and he was there. I was somehow there. I'm like, oh, this is nice. I get to actually meet Phil. I mean, not that he would give a shit, but he didn't know who I was, obviously, but I didn't want to make a big deal of it.
Well, maybe that will change the next time you're at NAMM, Troy. Maybe he'll be like, are you Troy Naviban, also known as Hammerspace Recording, also making Tone X and NAMM captures available from hammerspacerecording.com of the Gear podcast?
That's me. So far, only half of that is available on the website, but more coming soon. Anyway, thank you for the plug there, Uncle Leon. And that was a fun episode. Obviously, we'll We'll be back next week with more guitar news. But I'm actually personally pretty happy that NAMM's over now. And I can just not think about it. I feel like I got too inundated with new products over the last week.
Yeah.
So let's just take a little break, have a little breather, have a sit down, have a coffee, and take it from there.
It's so fun when it starts, but then by the end, like I said, once you've read the 112th ad copy that says the same thing, it's a bit like,
yep.
Whew.
Oh, yeah. Could do.
All right.
So
well, thanks, everyone.
Good on you, mate. We'll see you next time, hey? Peace.